Give us your
Thank
own
you.
read on oil prices. Do you think that we're getting back into the zone where we could test the yearly highs?
Yes, I think there's some nuances, maybe what I would say almost into the U.S. midterm elections that I think could cause a little bit of variability, I guess is the best word to describe that. So I would call myself near term. I think we could have a little bit of, call it push and pull. But I think as we exit this year and certainly into 23, the supply demand setup is probably as good as I've seen it in several years. So again, I mean, I think Seema was right. I think as long as demand remains stable, I think the supply, both international and domestically here in the States, is going to be very, very limited next year. And, again, we've seen things like Shell talk about today, only maybe shutting down a couple 100,000 barrels with the U.S. producing almost 12 million. And you had oil rally on that. I mean, to me, if that doesn't signal how tight the market is, I don't know what does.
Neal, so what you're really saying is as long as those midterm elections are coming up and the SPR releases do continue, that is going to be the primary focus and that's going to be driving down the oil price in the near term. I wanted to quickly play you something that we heard from German Chancellor Schultz just overnight. Listen in.
We are talking about this. Talks aren't finished yet due to the high technical complexity, and talks will take some more time. But we are working on this intensively to implement this common plan. But it won't work if it's just the G7 states. There are others you need as partners.
So basically, he was talking about the price caps being instituted. Do you, one, think that's likely? And two, when he's talking about the partners, he's really talking about China and India, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, that's the, sort of elephant in the room. We all know who he's talking about. And I don't think, anything like that, I think is very temporary. I think anything, again, just like, as I mentioned, a lot of the nuances, I'll call it for lack of better words, that I could come up with into the midterm. I think there's a lot of things that the IEA, the EIA, other agencies are saying that doesn't sort of jive with what I'm seeing on data out there right now. So again, I think there's a lot of sort of precedence on trying to keep prices down, at least into the election. And, after that, I think, as always, I think fundamentals are going to win out. I've met with almost 20 of my companies this week out in Denver, and the answer and, the comments were very clear. They're absolutely not going to increase production. They're very concerned about pricing, and they're going to keep giving shareholders a ton of return back. But all those things suggest very little incremental production for any of these domestic companies.